Horses are just leaving the mounting yard here in race number 3 at Kalgoorlie. To all of our at-home viewers on Racing WA TV, thank you for sticking with us. We have rectified a few of our issues that we were encountering, and now we're going to preview the third here as Tash Faithful looks to continue her way through riding this program. Winners so far, race number 1, race number 2, both Natasha Faithful, Striker's Gal into Think Like a Winner. And Maddie French, you are aboard Zing to Win, horse number 1 here for Dan and Ben Pearce.
I am. I'm hoping she can make it a race-to-race treble here. Zing to Win, it's just got such a sensational record here. They say horses for courses, Scotty, and here's the living embodiment. 8 starts for 5 wins, 2 seconds, and the one time he didn't place here, he was badly held up 4th that day, and one of those seconds was actually an unsuccessful protest. He just loves this track, and I think he gets a lovely setup today here. 1,300 metres, it's going to suit him. He's got a gate to work with, and he's got 2 speedsters out in front to try and chase. So I think his start 2 starts ago was 3 lengths behind Richanko, and that race just continues to get better and better the more we see Richanko race. Tash Faithful on, I think he's a good price.
I remember that protest. It was Zing to Win versus Kripolenko in the Ron Sayers Memorial Sprint here. Number 2, Baalbeck, Peter Fernie, Lucy Fiore.
I think I might have been on the wrong side of that protest as well. We both remember that, but Baalbeck moving on. He was too good for me last start. He sat just off the pace. He was able to get over them late, over the 1,100 metres second up. He carries 1.5 kilos more, but that's clearly offset by Lucy jumping on board here. For me, it's just where does he get to from the gate. I think there's a few in this that like to take up a prominent position. I expected to be able to come over from the breeze next to Sure Thing, who should probably lead this, but it's a bit of a tougher assignment than last start, I feel. But he's in return in great order, gets his chance to put 2 in a line here today.
Number 3, Rain of Fire, Joe Forrest, Lisa Staples.
We saw him first up 2 weeks ago when running 4th behind Baalbeck. Obviously gets a small weight swing on him from that day, and the 1,300 metres is much more his alley. Finished a really good third at 50-1 in the Coolgardie Sprint over this distance second up last campaign, and a repeat of that run would see him go very close here.
Number 4, Sure Thing, has been backed like he is exactly that. He's into odds on now for Dave Smith and Troy Turner.
The market just loves this horse, and you can understand why. Ever since coming over to WA, he's up on pace, he's hard, he's fast, and he gets his opposition running into really uncomfortable zones. He's won 4 out of his 6 runs since coming over here. He was only beaten by Treble Maker in the Provincial Championship Qualifier Series. I don't think there's anything wrong with that run. And then last start in the 58, he was simply too good for them. For mine, the only concern I have here for me is the 1,300 metres. I know he was able to win at Esperance earlier this year over 1,300 metres, but that was in a Class 2, and you go back as who he beat. I think there's been 1 winner come out of that race, and I'm excluding the superstar of the dirt, which in Southern Scandal. He drops weight, he gets the gun barrier. I think if he's ever going to run out a really strong 13, this is his race.
Number 5, Scottish led Ricky Brown, Vicky Corver.
Was able to put 2 on the bounce impressively in 58 plus grade, and then stepped up to 64 plus and just didn't get things his own way. Had to work really hard to get to the lead, and that was his day there really when Rywood went straight past him in the straight. Back to 1,300 metres is probably a slight query for me, as he's had 2 really good goes at the mile.
Mountain Ash, Paul Tapper, Chris Nicol.
Just a war horse for the Tapper yard, going around regularly in between the 58 and open class. He goes around, he picks up a few checks, but he finds it tough to win.
Number 7, No More Dust, also Paul Tapper. Ava Caterino aboard this mare.
Probably a rinse and repeat with my comments for Mountain Ash here. I thought, though I will say, she's probably slightly better suited in this weaker company and ridden up on pace.
And Mac Hall scratched Pretty Divine yesterday to bring her here today. Keshaw Do Run rides.
Doesn't mind to jump and run Pretty Divine. She was a big winner 3 starts ago in a much weaker race than this at Northam, and has since held her own at Ascot and then also at York. She's eligible for easier and just might find this a little bit too sharp, but she'll be up on pace.
Let's have a look at the market ahead of the quality rubber lining handicap. It's a 70 plus 1,300, where Sure Thing has been $2.15 into $1.80. Baalbeck on the second line of betting, $3.80 out to $4.80. Zing to Win has some admirers, Matt French included, $6 into $5 as Tash Faithful looks to ride the first 3 winners on the program. Pretty Divine has doubled in price, open 6, now out to 12, 9 to 14 for Scottish Laird, 21 into 15, Rain of Fire, a few thrill seekers thinking that he can break this losing streak of 1,000 days. No More Dust at 34 and Mountain Ash at 50-1. 90 seconds to get your bets on ahead of race number 3 at Kalgoorlie. Matt French to put them in order.
I've gone 1, 4, 2 and 3 here. I've put Zing to win on top. I love the map. I like the setup. I really like him back to Kel. And we're getting a price at around that $5 mark as well. So I think that's good enough for me right there. And with Sure Thing going out, I think he's going to be out in front. I've put him in here for second. I think he's going to be in front for a long way. So if anyone's following, you can even chop out on Sure Thing there at $2 and still get a nice price about Zing to win. I put the 2 in Bellbeck in for third. I really like the horse. I'm just not sure about the race setup here for him. And 3, Rain of Fire. I think he can improve second up, but we'll need the leaders to come back a little bit to him. I do have that Kalgoorlie sprint run in the back of my mind with him. 1, 4, 2 and 3, but I do think this is a nice setup here for Zing to win.
1, 4, 2 and 3. Can Zing to win his 6th race at his 9th attempt here at the KBRC, or will Sure Thing continue on his winning spree and will make it now 4 wins out of his last 6 runs? So it's a really good quality contest this. Horses are behind the barriers. It's $1.75 now about Sure Thing. Every time this market refreshes, it's getting him shorter and shorter. Zing to win is actually now on the second line of betting as Baalbeck continues to drift here out to $5.50. Only the 3 runners in single figures. $1.75 Sure Thing, $5 Zing to win, $5.50 Baalbeck. Matt French's numbers are 1, 4, 2 and 3. Matt McDermott, our race caller, is 1, 4, 2 and 3. So the boys are somehow same 4 in the same order. Let's send you the way of Matt McDermott now to see whether Zing to win can take out race number 3.
Thanks, Scott. Now they are over at the start here and moving in. Let's have a look at them. Baalbeck and Rain of Fire. Jockey is dismounted Mount Nash. Chris Nicol for the moment. Pretty Divine over there. No More Dust in the blue cap. Sure Thing and Zing to win back behind those. The favourite here at $1.80 Sure Thing. In from $2.10, $4.80 Baalbeck out of point. Zing to win is in a point to 5. Now, note we have a late scratching. Number 6, Mount Nash has just been withdrawn. Horse number 6, Mount Nash, is a late scratching. Stewards acting on vet's advice was around $51 at last look. Number 6, Mount Nash, has been withdrawn. So down to a field of 7 now. And Sure Thing, the favourite, about to come up with Troy Turner. Half a kilogram over, as notified earlier. And the favourite goes in. Quality rubber lining handicap over 1300. Rating 70 plus. No More Dust is about to join Sure Thing in the gates. Baalbeck about to move up now. Lucy Fiore. Rain of Fire. Scottish Laird, Pretty Divine and Zing to win. Here is Rain of Fire moving up. Scottish Laird and Vic Corver about to move on in. And Pretty Divine and Zing to win, the last 2. Late scratching of horse 6, Mount Nash. Third leg of the first quaddie. Last couple over there at the 1200. $1.85 Sure Thing. $3.80 now Zing to win and $5.50 for Baalbeck. The rest are in double figures. Thanks, Stu. Coming up well, Pretty Divine and Zing to win. I'll have the line complete. Tash Faithful, the first 2 winners today, unbeaten. With Strikers Gal in To Think Like a Winner. Zing to win in this. Just swung around, now faces up. A bit of attention to one of the others. And a wider gate sorted now. Zing to win moves in. They're all set. Third of the day. Ready now. And away they go. And beginning well was Balbec. Sure Thing on the inside. Zing to Wing is third early. Pretty Divine and No More Dust the inside. Rain of Fire the outside. And Scottish Laird is the last one, about 4 or so off the lead. It's Sure Thing in front, going on to past the 1,000 metres. Leads a half a length to Balbec. 1.5 Zing to Wing, just in behind the leading pair third. 3/4 now to Rain of Fire over to fourth. 1.5 to Pretty Divine with No More Dust, and Scottish Laird is the last one. 700 metres to go, and the favourites in control. Sure Thing with Turner leading Balbec at its flanks. A length away on the inside is Zing to Win. A half Rain of Fire as they swing down the side of the track past the 600. Pretty Divine back third last and covers No More Dust, and 1.5 away is Scottish Laird at the end. The leader toward the 400, Sure Thing, the favourite's been in front from the outset and has dictated the terms. Leads Balbec, Zin to Wing right in behind the leader. Pretty Divine works up around Rain of Fire, and Scottish Laird is second last with No More Dust on the inside. Sure Thing, though, down at the 250. Gets away now from Zing to Win, and Balbec on the outside. Pretty Divine from Rain of Fire with 100 to go, though. It's Sure Thing, two clear of Zing to Win, and Sure Thing coming away. Sure Thing wins well, like a Sure Thing. 2 lengths to Zin to Win. Balbec, Pretty Divine. Close up was Scottish Laird, then came Rain of Fire, and a couple of lengths away, No More Dust whipped them in. Making pretty light work of it, Sure Thing. Number 4, Troy Turner for trainer David Smith. Jumped nicely and worked up to find the lead, and is controlled there through the middle part and zipped away in the last 100. And puts 2 wins back to back. It's 1-5 overall from 18, with another 5 minor placings. The 4-year-old Bay Gelding by Keed Mofeed out of Lalani, and raced by D. Smith and Miss S. Anthony. Troy Turner in the saddle for trainer David Smith. Sure Thing, number 4. The winning margin was 2.5, and a length second to third. Interim numbers are 4, 1, 2 and 8. 4, 1, 2 and 8. Sure Thing from Zing to Win, number 1. Tash Faithful, 2 wins and a second. Runner-up prepared by Dan and Ben Pearce. He's a gelding of 4 by Shooting to Win out of Cold Fact. And Balbec, who sat to the outside of the lead, has held third. Lucy Fiore for Peter Fernie. And fourth going to 8, Pretty Divine, Keshaw Duran for Mac Hall. 117.6 is the time. 117.6, and 2.5 lengths to Sure Thing. 1 length between second and third. Winner about to come back here, Sure Thing, taking out the Quality Rubber Lining Handicap at $1.90 and $1.04, $1.60 the runner-up, and $1.70 for third. Third leg of the first quaddie, and getting the job done, Sure Thing, about to return here. See if we can head down to Scott in the yard here after the third of the day.
Thank you, Matty Mack, as Troy Turner brings Sure Thing back towards the mounting yard here. It's 4, 1, 2 and 8 across the line. Sure Thing has now made it 5 wins since arriving here in the West for Dave Smith. Unfortunately, Dave's not on track today, but it looks like we have a representative on the way through. Who have we got?
I'm Shannon. I'm the half owner of Sure Thing with Dave.
Congratulations, Shannon. Tell us the story about how he's arrived here, should I say.
No, well, he lives here, but he came from Victoria and he's been here for 4 months or something. And yeah, no, he's been a really good thing for us.
Been a nice little ride. 5 wins since making that debut down at Esperance.
Oh, definitely. He's a lot of good fun.
Where is Dave today?
Watching the West Coast Eagles in Perth.
That sounds horrible. Why would he do that to himself? Unless he's a Geelong supporter.
Well, have a look at his colours and then you might work it out.
Congratulations, well done.
No worries, thank you.
There's Shannon, one of the part owners here of Sure Thing. It's 4-year-old gelding by Akeed Mafeed. His 5th win, and now he's got a maiden winner at Esperance, Class 2 on 2 occasions, a 58-plus winner, and now a 70-plus winner. So he's been a wonderful acquisition. You just sort of dream of these things, really, Matty. You buy a maiden, bring them over here, and get all the way through to open class in the space of a 6-month period. And Dave Smith's going to celebrate by watching the Eagles get beaten by 10 goals, so that'll be fun. But it's 55.5 kilos that he's carried today in this open grade 1300, and he was simply too quick and too good for them, Matt.
He was. He really kicked well on straightening. I'll be interested to see the sectionals when they come out here, Scott, because I think Troy probably got it his own way out in front there, and we just was able to get the horse into a nice rhythm without punching too far forward. As you've said, this is what Things Are Dreams are made of. The campaign that they've had has so far been simply breathtaking and now open class Kalgoorlie. That's exactly what you want to see, and he gets in on the lightweight, so we'll just grab Troy before he heads off to the scale here. Troy, we'll get you here if we can. No, that's all right. It's one of those days today. Out in front, got it your own way, and he just had a really nice kick there.
Yeah, look, he presented really well, the horse. He had a mishap during the week, obviously, but he didn't turn a hair from that. And, yeah, I think he's got some nice races in mind for him later on. So, yeah, done a good job.
1,300 metres today. He jumped up in distance a little bit. Any concerns for yourself? Were you just trying to rate it out in front there?
He's won over 13 before, lesser grade, but sometimes you get a better run in front, so I can't see why he wouldn't run a 14 out.
One more for Dave Smith later on in the program in Kalgoorlie. Can we make it a double?
Yeah, it wasn't suited the other day. They ran at a fast tempo, and he was chasing the whole way. It wasn't a bad run, but I said you need to step him up where he can actually control and get in a good rhythm, so he should run a better race.
All the best.
Thank you.
There's Troy Turner. It's 4, 1, 2 and 8 here in the quality rubber lining handicap race number 3 at Kalgoorlie. After a short break on Racing WA TV, we'll be back for race number 3 up at Port Hedland, or as I'm told the locals call it, the Dirty Dirt.